Hello, welcome once again to another tutorial. I hope you are all doing fine and great. I hope all is well. So right here, I have a flay here because what I want to do now is the double puff sleeve as I showed you on the thumbnail, double puff sleeve. That is what I want to do right here. And what you need to do is to get your flay. In case you don't know how to get your flay, I have a video which I just dropped on how to cut your 1440 degree peplum. So go ahead to cross check on how to cut your flay. And this is a flay which I cut out for my double step ball sleeves. So what all you need to do is to get the circumference of your sleeve, which is this very end here. Your very end here, you get your circumference, and after getting your circumference for there, you divide it by 4. After divided by 4, you can plus 1 inch. That is what I was able to do. You divide it by 4 plus 1 inch. That is what you are going to get for your cap here, which is your upper part, which is this part here. So after getting your round sleeve divided by 4 plus 1 to get your face, so go back. In case you don't know how to cut your peplum, go to the video which I showed you on how to cut your peplum. You understand what I'm trying to say. So this is what I was able to get here. So then after getting your measurement for that part, you go ahead to calculate the length of your sleeve, your puff sleeve which you want to do. So what I used there is 14. So 14, 7 plus 7 gives me 14. So that is what I have here. So after I've gotten my round sleeve for the upper part, I went ahead to take 14. 7 plus 7 will give me 14. So if 7 plus 7 will give me 14, I've now ruled my shock here from here to here, 7, 7, 7, in a way to cut a peplum. So if you don't know how to cut a peplum, go ahead to watch the video. So that's what I was able to get here to indicate that this part is the upper part and this part is the lower part, and they are both equal. So that was what I did. So after doing that, what I went on to do, because this is going to use a lace fabric, as you can see on the thumbnail there is lace fabric there. So what I went on to do, now after cutting out my flay, it depends on how you want it to be full. Yours can be fuller than mine. It all depends on how you extend your flay. Hope you get me. So how you extend your flay will give you a fuller part of what you want. From here to here, how you extend it will give you a fuller part of what you want. So after I did that, what I went on to do, I spread it on a lace fabric. I used my satin, which I have already cut out, to spread on the lace fabric. So you can see my lace fabric here. So this is the right side. You can see my stones. So when placing your lace fabric, make sure you are using the right side of your satin to place. Make sure you are using the right side of your satin to place on the wrong side of your lace. So when you turn up, your satin will appear. It will reflect your flay, your lace, so it will be brightened. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So after you have done that, what I went on to do was to pin down. After I have spread my satin on my flay, I went on to pin everywhere down to make sure there is no form of movement on the lace and the satin, so it does not distract my work. So I went on to pin it down. After I've pinned all of it down, because I marked my second flay, which is dividing these two parts together, So after marking it, I went on to pin my pins round it, this exact same line. I put my pins around it. So after that, I went on to pin here also. So take note, I pin this down part and I pin the center of it that differentiates these two flays together. I pinned it round. After pinning it round, I went on to pin here also, so there is no form of movement when sewing. So after that, I went on to sew. I took it to my machine and I now run a line to hold my satin and my fabrics together. So I sewed my line around it. After I've done sewing that, I now sewed on the mark where I put my shock. If you take a close look, you can still see the shock which I have here. You can still see a little bit. It is faint already. So but you can still see a little bit of the shock which I put there. So I went on to run a stitch to hold this so it does not shake, like it does not move when fixing my puff sleeves together. So I went on to sew it all around like this, and at this top also I went on to seal it to make sure there's no form of movement, because we are working with lace and satin. So if you don't do this major part, it will shift and it will disturb your work, it won't be neat. So I went on to put everything in place. So after doing it in place like this, I went on to weave my upper part for my flay, for my ball sleeve, and I had to weave the down part. As you can see also, I interlocked it. You can see how it is looking. So after I have done that, now this is where I arrived. After doing all of that, as I just said, this is where I arrived. So I want to show you on how to go about this. So after I have done that, what I'm going to do now, because I'm not going to show you how to sew, so I want to make sure you understand how to sew it. So what I'm going to do now on my machine, I'm going to plait this like this. Make sure you are plaiting it on the line which you sewed your thread there. So that is how I'm going to pick it, just like this, and sew. I'm going to pick it like this and sew all through. Pick it like this and sew all through. So let me go ahead to do that and come back to show you how it looks after picking it and sew. Okay, so you can see what I have here. After picking it, you can see what I have here, and you can see how it looks. So it has now bring it together instead of leaving it open like that, because if it were to be like that and you run your elastic on it, it will not give you the effect of bringing it together. It will be still slacky. So it is better you go ahead to do it like this, as I showed you. So after doing it like this, what you are going to do next, this is when you apply your elastic. So what we are going to do next is to place, make sure your fabric is separated. Make sure it is not under, please. Make sure it is separated. So when you sew, after you put your needle, your sewing needle on your elastic, you stretch it. Make sure you are following the line. You stretch it and you sew. That is how you are going to stretch it like this and sew. Make sure you stretch it and sew around it. So let me go ahead to do what I just showed you, then come back to show you the effect it will give after doing that. So after putting my elastic band around the place which I sewed, so you can see the effect that it has given this my flay. So after that, what I'm going to do for this also, I'm also going to pleat this edge. I'm going to pleat it round so it shrinks without being like this, because like this night is very full. So I'm going to pleat it. So let me go ahead to show you on how to pleat it. Let me go ahead to pleat it to show you how your pleating should look when doing yours. So let me go ahead to pleat it, then come back to show you what to do next. Okay, so after pleating, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like after I've gone ahead to pleat it. So you can see how it looks. So after you have done doing it, you can see the distance I give for the pleating. I make sure it is close. So you can see after pleating everything, you need a strap of 2.5 inches. Your strap, the width of your strap should be 2.5 inches. Then you get the circumference of your flay. What you need to do is to use your shock to mark here like this. Mark it down. After you place it, your shock there, then you go ahead to take it round. So what I have here now is 41 inches. The circle of this is 41 inches. That is what I have here now. So after getting your circumference, you can go ahead to cut your strap with an extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. 2 inches is fine. Don't make it 2 inches for sewing allowance. After getting your circumference, you include 2 inches for your sewing allowance. Then for the width of your strap should be 2.5. So what you are going to do now is to fold it like this. You can see how I fold it. You can fold it like this. Then on this part, you can choose any part you want or any part you wish to choose from. So what you are going to do now, just like this, you are not going to start your sewing from this part. You are going to keep about 1.5 inch or 2 inches before you sew. So what you are going to do now, you are going to sew half inch. So I'm going to sew half inch round it and come back here again. So after I have sewn it round to come back here, then I'll now open this and sew with the other one. So let me just go ahead to do it and show you what to do so you don't get confused. I have gone ahead to run the strap as I told you. So this is what I have here. Remember, I run it on the right side, just like I place it on the right side and stitch it round. So this is the end which I got here. So what I'm going to do at this end is to locate the exact point where it should stop. So this is the exact point which it should stop. So what I'm going to do now is to take it like this and open it. And I'm going to sew from this part now to this end. I'm going to sew it to the end there. Then I turn it in. Make sure you trim. If there is enough allowance, make sure you trim it to be small. So let me go ahead to do that. So I have gone ahead to sew it as I showed you and turn it so you can see how it looks now. Please and please make sure you interlock yours. Please make sure you interlock yours. At this time that I'm shooting this video, I do not have interlocking machine, so I was unable to do this. I did this later on and I forgot to take this with me. So please make sure you interlock, make sure your work is neater than this. Please make sure you interlock yours. So after that, you can see the space that is left here. You can see my hand that is coming through here. You can see my hand here. So this space here now, there is hole here. So what you are going to do is just to take your elastic and the safety pin, then pass your elastic inside your safety pin. Pass your elastic inside your channel. So pass the channel, pass it, let me go this way. So pass it through your channel just like this. So let me go ahead to put my elastic around it, then come back to you. Okay, so you can see my elastic, I have gathered it, and this is the size of the sleeve which I want. So you go ahead to do it to the size which you prefer for the edge of your sleeve. So this is the upper part and this is the lower part. So what you are going to do now is to take off your safety pin, then sew your two elastics together so it sticks together. Then you free it. After you free it, you now close this place that is open. So let me go ahead to do that, then I'll come back to you. I have done just that so you can see how it looks now. I want to cut my sleeve to join here, and I believe there are some people that do not know how to cut their sleeve, so just permit me to do this for them. So how to get your sleeve? Very easy. How to cut your sleeve is very easy. All you need to do when your armhole is ready or you have your armhole measurement, all you are going to do, so let me see what I have here. Right here I have 11.5 as my armhole. 11.5 divided by 2 will give me 23. 11.5 times 2 will give me 23. So 23 divided by 2, which is 11.5. So what I'm going to do is to get my 11, just as an example, you divide your armhole divided by 2. That is what you are going to get here. Your armhole divided by 2 is what you are going to get here. Let me cut this off. So I have 11.5. I'm going to get my, okay, let me just make it for you to understand. Let me say my armhole is 18. So I'm using 9 inch. 18 divided by 2 giving 9. So this is my 9 right here. Come here again to get your 9. Make sure you have your 9 till the end. So after you gotten your mind like this, what you are going to do is to get your full length of your sleeve. Let me say my sleeve is 12 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 13. Why the 1 inch for sewing allowance? Because you are going to join at your shoulder and you are still going to join at the fullness of your sleeve, which is this other part here. You are still going to join it to your ball, so you need half inch for your joining. So I'm going to make it 13. My sleeve length is 12 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 13. Then I connect like this. So after connecting it like this, what I'm going to do next is to get my cap height for my sleeve. So for females, normally your cap height is 4 inches for cap height. So you can see my 4 here. This is where I mark my 4. And what I'm going to do now, from this 4 here, I'm going to connect it down to this end here. So you can see, so just connect from here to your fullness of your cap height. So what I'm going to do after that, you cross check what you have here. So I have 10 inches here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a mark at the midpoint between 1 to 10, which is 5. That is where I placed it. Then come over to my round sleeve, which is your round sleeve here. So let's say my round sleeve is 12. I mark it 12 divided by 2 give you 6. I have my 6 here plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. So from here now, you're going to connect it like this. Connect it like this to get your armhole curve. When you connect it like that, then connect from here down to your 1 inch sewing allowance. So let's cross check our measurement for our sleeve. Remember, our measurement is 18, which is 9. 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So what I'm supposed to have here, you'll see what I get here. I believe I have 10. So what I have here now is 10 and a half. Hope you get. So that is for my sewing allowance. So you can go ahead to place your tape like this to get your sleeve, which is 9 here. Here is 9 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. That is what I have here. So 9 here plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then you connect it like this to this other 1 inch for sewing allowance at the down part, just like this. So getting your sleeve is very easy. To get your sleeve is very easy. Then go ahead to cut out. So this is the sleeve, and you can see my sleeve which I have here. So you can see my sleeve which I have here. So after that aside, after getting your sleeve, what you are going to do now is to run your stitch, getting your the circumference of your sleeve, which is this down part. Mine is 14. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to mark at 14, and I'm going to sew down. I'm going to sew it up to this up here. Understand? I'm going to sew from this point here to this up. So that's what I'm going to do before attaching it to my sleeve. So let me go ahead to close here with my allowance. We just close it and come back to you. So here is my sleeve, and here is my 2 buff sleeve, or how you like call it, 2 ball sleeve. So what I'm going to do, you can place this any side which you wish, and this, my circle here is bigger than this, so it is going to have a little pleating on this. If you want your pleating bigger, you can go ahead to expand your opening here. It depends on you. If you want it to fit in with your sleeve, you go ahead to cut it exactly as your sleeve without an allowance. So go ahead to wash out to get your flay, you understand that better. So what I'm going to do now, as I told you, any part I'm going to use, but I'm going to start sewing from this end so that when I come, I end here. So I'm going to sew from here like this. When I sew to this extent, I'm going to turn it in. Let me come again. I'm going to sew it from here. You can see this is my sewing allowance here. This is the, which is the under part of my sleeve. I'm going to sew like this. Once I sew up to half, then I turn it like this and sew. Make sure you are plinting when sewing. Make sure you are plinting when sewing. If you look, take a close look, you will see that my flay there is bigger than the sleeve. So make sure you are plinting when sewing. So or you can go ahead to do it like this without wasting your time. You can go ahead to plait it like this to sew it around. So let me go ahead to do that and come back to show you the finished work of it. Okay, so you can see the finished work of what we have been making, our double step ball sleeve. So you can see how it looks very nice and very beautiful. I'm loving this. So you can see me putting it. I'm just showing you to see if the person puts it on, how it will look like. So this is it. So I'm hoping to see yours, try your own, you'll get a better result. So you can see how it looks very fine and nice. So I want to use this medium to say thank you for everyone for staying tuned till this hour. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe in case you are new to the channel. Just go ahead and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new videos, because I'm going to post an awesome video just like this. So as always, stay safe and remain blessed.